He wasn't rushing. He wasn't sick. He was just getting out of bed. James, 67 years old. A quiet man, retired electrician, still did most of the house repairs himself. That morning, like hundreds before, he woke up, swung his legs over the side of the bed, stood up, and collapsed. He hit the cold tile of the bathroom floor before he even had time to say a word. No warning, no dizziness, no pain beforehand. Just gone. His wife, Marie, heard the sound and found him slumped against the tub, eyes open but blank, gasping like someone who had fallen underwater. They rushed him to the ER. No heart attack. No stroke. But something subtle and just as dangerous. The neurologist explained, it was a transient drop in cerebral blood flow. A moment when the brain doesn't get enough oxygen as blood pressure suddenly shifts upon waking. Not uncommon in older adults. Often ignored. But sometimes, it's the beginning of a silent downward slide. James was lucky. He stood back up. But many don't. When he came to see me 2 weeks later, he asked me something I'll never forget. "Doc, is this just age?" He looked tired when he asked. Not just in the body, but in the eyes. Like a man who was bracing for a life where he had to be careful, soft, slow, afraid. I took a deep breath. Looked him in the eyes. And said, "James, what if I told you, we've been starting our mornings all wrong after 60? What if it's not the years, but the way we begin them? What if vitality isn't lost, it's just waiting for the right signal? And what if that signal only takes 3 minutes? Let me explain something most men over 60 are never told. The most dangerous part of your day is not during exercise. Not during intimacy. Not even when you're stressed. It's the first 5 minutes after you open your eyes. Why? Because your body, especially after 60, wakes up slowly, not instantly. Your blood vessels are still slightly constricted. Your blood pressure hasn't stabilized. Your heart is shifting from nighttime rhythm to daytime demand. And most importantly, your brain, your most delicate organ, needs a steady, gentle wave of blood to fully wake. But here's what most men do. They swing out of bed, stand up too fast, skip water, grab coffee, maybe scroll the news. And then they wonder why they feel lightheaded, foggy, or just tired before the day even begins. It's not weakness. It's not aging. It's biology being ignored. Your circulatory system is like an old engine. If you slam the gas pedal the second you start it, things sputter. But if you warm it up, just for a few minutes, everything runs smoother. That's why I tell my patients, you don't need to move faster. You need to rise smarter. And here's the beauty most men overlook, this fragile morning moment is also your most powerful one. Because your body is incredibly receptive. Your nervous system is alert. Your hormones are beginning to shift. Your circulation is ready to be directed. With just 3 intentional minutes, you can send a signal to your blood vessels, it's safe, let's flow. You can tell your heart, we're not rushing, we're rising. And you can tell your testosterone, you're still needed, let's work. Morning isn't the enemy. It's the portal. To clarity. To energy. To strength. But only if you start it the way your body was designed to begin. With rhythm. With respect. With a ritual. And now that you understand the why, let me show you how. Because what you do in the next 3 minutes after waking up could be the most important health decision of your entire day. Most men think they need an hour at the gym, a perfect diet, or some expensive supplement to feel better. But I want to show you something that takes just 3 minutes. It doesn't require equipment. You don't need to leave your bedroom. And it's completely free. I call it the 3-minute morning boost. It's a simple flow of movement and breath that wakes up your circulation, gently stretches your spine, and tells your nervous system, we're safe. We're strong. Let's begin. Now, before I show you how to do it, let me tell you why it works so well, especially for men over 60. After the age of 60, 3 things happen quietly in the morning. Blood becomes slightly thicker after sleep because we're mildly dehydrated. The heart takes longer to adjust from rest to activity. Testosterone and nitric oxide are rising, but only if the body gets the right cue. The 3-minute boost gives that cue. It's not just movement. It's a message. When you stretch your spine, twist your torso, and breathe deeply, you create a pump effect. Blood starts moving from the lower body to the brain and heart. Oxygen increases. Your joints release stiffness. And your hormones start flowing again. Think of it like priming a well. You don't need to flood the system, you just need to get things moving. In fact, I've had patients tell me, "Doc, I started doing this every morning, and within a week, I felt clearer, more stable, even more confident walking into my day." One man in his 70s told me his wife noticed first. "You're smiling more in the morning," she said. That's the power of small rituals done right. This isn't exercise. It's a reset. And here's what's even more powerful: when you do this same 3-minute sequence at the same time every day, your body starts to expect it. That means the benefits come faster and last longer. So, what exactly is the 3-minute morning boost? It's just 3 movements. Each one focused on waking up a vital part of your system. And in the next part, I'll guide you step by step through it. No pressure. No perfection. Just breath, stretch, and strength, designed for your age, your pace, and your future. You don't need a gym. You don't need fancy equipment. What your body needs most after 60 is movement that respects the way it's changed. When I first gave James this routine, he looked at me like I was underselling it. 3 movements? That's it? But after the first week, he came back with a quiet smile and said, "Doc, I didn't know I could feel this clear again, just from moving like that in the morning." So here's the exact 3-minute sequence I gave him. It's gentle, but it works. Why? Because it targets circulation, joint mobility, and nervous system reset without strain. Movement 1. The wall reach, 1 minute, stand about a foot away from a wall. Place your hands at shoulder height, fingers spread. Now gently press your palms into the wall and slowly raise your arms like you're pushing the sky upward. As you do this, breathe in through your nose, hold for 2 seconds at the top, and exhale slowly as your arms return. Repeat this for a full minute. You'll feel your shoulders release. You'll feel your spine lengthen. And, most importantly, your chest opens, improving oxygen intake and blood flow to the brain. Movement 2. The march and roll, 1 minute, stand tall. Begin a gentle march in place, lifting your knees slowly, not high, just enough to feel your hip joints moving. Now, as you march, gently roll your shoulders backward. Feel the rhythm between your breath, your steps, and your upper body. This activates blood flow through the lower body and brings warmth into your hands and feet, something most men over 60 desperately need in the morning. Movement 3. The rooted twist, 1 minute, stand with your feet shoulder width apart. Place your hands gently on your hips or in front of your chest. Now slowly twist your upper body to the left, then to the right. Go gently. Let your spine guide the movement, not your arms. With each twist, exhale deeply. Imagine wringing out the stiffness from your back, your organs, your mind. This isn't just about flexibility. This resets the vagus nerve, the body's internal switch from tension to calm. When James added this twist, he said something shifted. Not just in his back, but in how present he felt during breakfast. Calmer. More alive. If you're just starting out, even 1 or 2 minutes is better than none. What matters is that your body receives the message, I'm still here. And I still move. Most men think change takes months. And for big transformations, that might be true. But your body? It starts responding much sooner than you think. In fact, by the 7th morning of doing this 3-minute routine, something subtle, but powerful, often begins to shift. Let me tell you what I've seen, not in theory, but in real men over 60. Day 1 to 2, you might feel stiff. A little awkward. Like your body's waking up from a long sleep. That's okay. It's part of the process. But even after the 2nd day, many men say, I felt warmer. Lighter. Like something opened up. Day 3 to 4, your breathing becomes deeper without you trying. Your hands and feet feel less cold in the mornings. In your mind? That morning fog, it starts to lift. Just a little. But enough to notice. You may find yourself standing taller. Reaching for your coffee with more steadiness. Even walking to the mailbox with a bit more energy. Day 5 to 6, sleep quality often improves. You might find yourself falling asleep faster, or waking up feeling a little more refreshed. And here's something no one expects, men tell me their mood softens. Less frustration. Less tension in the jaw, in the shoulders, in their words. It's not magic. It's movement. It's oxygen. It's the quiet return of circulation where it's been missing. Day 7. By the end of the first week, you might feel something you haven't felt in years, momentum. You're not just doing a routine. You're building trust with your body again. Letting it know, I haven't given up on you, and your body responds in kind. I'm still here, and I'm ready. This isn't the finish line. It's the first real signal that you're back on the path. And what comes after this might surprise you even more. Most men don't stop because they're lazy. They stop because they don't see a result fast enough. Or because they think, this is too simple to work. But let me tell you something important, something I've seen over and over in my 30 years of caring for men over 60. Small efforts that are repeated, not intense efforts that are abandoned, build lasting change. So why do most men quit? Because they're trained to chase big wins. To go hard or go home. To believe that if something doesn't burn or hurt, it isn't helping. That mindset might work in your 30s. But after 60, it's not about fighting your body. It's about partnering with it. And this 3-minute boost? It's not a workout. It's a wake up. It's your body's signal that says, hey, we're still in this together. And here's the truth. The men who keep going, even when it feels boring or basic, they're the ones who say to me, Doc, I didn't think this little thing would matter, but now I feel alive again. They feel stronger standing up from a chair. They breathe deeper when walking outside. They reconnect with their wives, not just physically, but emotionally. And the reason they didn't quit? Because someone reminded them it's okay to go slow. Because they felt the change inside, even before it showed on the outside. Because they weren't doing it alone. So here's why you won't quit, because now, you know the science behind the movement. You've already felt a shift in just a few days. And most importantly, you're doing this for something deeper than muscles or numbers. You're doing it to stay connected, to stay present, to stay you. And that's a reason worth continuing. You might not see it yet, but something has already shifted. Every time you show up for those 3 minutes, you're not just stretching muscles, you're stretching identity. Because in a world where most men slow down, you chose to move. You didn't wait for pain to push you. You didn't wait for a doctor to scare you. You moved first. And that changes who you are. I've seen this transformation more times than I can count. Not in professional athletes, not in men chasing six-packs. But in ordinary men over 60 who simply decided to rise each morning and give their body what it quietly needed. They became the ones who led, not by shouting, but by standing taller. They stopped dragging themselves through the day and started walking into it with presence. They weren't just doing movements. They were becoming movers. Because the man who moves first becomes the man who feels first: energy, connection, peace. He feels stronger not because of a gym, but because he kept a promise to himself. That's the identity you're building now. Not someone trying to get back to who you were, but someone discovering what's still inside you, ready, waiting, alive. So tomorrow morning, when the world is still quiet and your feet touch the floor, just remember, you're not doing a routine. You're stepping into who you've always been, a man who moves first. So here we are. Not at the end of a video, but at the beginning of something far more important. A quiet decision. A personal pact. Not with me, not with science, but with the man in the mirror. 3 minutes. That's all we talked about. But now, you know they're not just minutes. They're your moment. To breathe. To move. To remind your body, I'm still here, I still care. And no one else may notice at first. That's okay. This isn't about applause. It's about alignment. Between your breath and your brain, your blood and your will. Because here's what I believe, every man has the right to feel strong again. To feel clear, present, connected. And not someday. Now. So let's make it simple. Each morning, before the day pulls you in, move. 3 minutes. 3 movements. 1 promise. That's your pact. Not perfection. Not pressure. Just presence. And if today is the first time you've heard someone say this to you, then let me be the first, you're not broken. You're rebuilding. And you're doing it right. Now go move. Your next chapter is already waiting. And it begins with just 3 minutes.